Everyone, sorry for the late start here. The doggos has chewed a little bit of her fur away on her side from an itch, and I had to make sure she's okay. But we'll be starting here in just a minute. Get everything together. We're going to be going over Cyberpunk Solo mode as we figure out how 108 pages can be dedicated to playing Cyberpunk Red as a solo RPG. Hey Kyle, how are you today? I think I saw a Nick in here before the show started too. Well, that's not fun, man. I hope it's at least something good. Is it good stuff or is it actual work stuff? What's up, everybody? So sorry for the late start today. We have a pupples that decided to chew a hole in her side yesterday. It's not bad. Just lost some fur, so she is being extra needy. I don't know what she did, or she got bit by something or what, but she'll be fine. I'm gonna keep an eye on her so she's down here today instead of being downstairs like normal. But that doesn't matter. She'll be good. I've had way worse from dogs, right? Right, Fiona? Right, Miss River? Yeah. You shoot a hole in your side. We don't know what caused it. She takes flea and tick medication, all that jazz. I'm guessing she got bit by something worse, or she just had some itchy skin and did what dogs do. With all that fun stuff. Today, last night, I was looking around for what we should go over today. News has been really sparse, so I don't have a ton of news. I only got two things we're going over. One, because they're someone who helps support the channel, and they have done a bunch of really cool work on a project that we love. I know it's someone that I enjoy talking to, so we're going to go over that. We're going to go over some of the stuff that I'm working on, and then we're going to dive right into the new single player mode from Artel Soren for Cyberpunk Red. I gotta be honest, I didn't think we'd ever see this. And I feel like the solo gameplay trend is so big now that they can't ignore it anymore. Like, I feel like every single game company has seen solo play gain viability towards the end of the pandemic moving forward, starting with things like Ironsworn, really. I think the gentleman who wrote that is one of the best at making solo play. We saw Free League adopt it really quickly with all of their Lord of the Rings. And then, of course, for Coriolis, which we just looked over, they have their own style of solo play for that. So I gotta say, like, it's not just a itty bitty trend anymore. It's a large one. And I feel like it might be here to stay. So we're going to look at that. I've done solo play. I do a lot of co-op play with the audience. I've been doing that since, I think, the beginning of COVID. Like, we were doing the Penny Dreadfuls, or the Lysynthia Dreadfuls for 2 years. When I was on Norse Foundry before that, we were doing, what was it? Aliens. We did Alien and Alien Fugitive. And then when we did Blades in the Dark, for Blades in the Dark, we had everyone playing one of the crew members on a live show. Man, it must be allergies, because mine are bad today too. Fiona, maybe it's just allergies, girl. My allergies are killing me today. Yeah. So I feel like look how red they are. Like pink as shit. I feel like maybe the solo trend is sticking around. Maybe it's sticking around. So that makes me happy. It gives designers something new to make. I think the concept and questions you ask yourself with solo play is very different. I've tried doing it with AI. It can do the Oracle well and prompt, but it just doesn't. It doesn't have the same creative writing and storytelling instincts that a person does, because it gets lost weaving a long narrative. It's really good at short response and baby things, but long narratives, it is difficult for it to do. So a person doing it, taking notes, it's a lot more efficient doing it that way. But we'll get into that here when we get into the solo play. For now, I just want to go over the one piece of news. I'm not even going to record this. I just think it's important to look at. I'm a big fan of Brian Collin and their work. And all of the stuff that they're doing with the upcoming Kickstarter that they have. This guy is a force to be reckoned with, honestly, in the TTRPG space. So let's go take a look at his stuff, and then we'll take a look at what I am working on, and then we will dive over into that single player today, September 17th on Corpse Talk Live. So let's see what we got here, everybody. So, I feel like I'm off center. I'm sitting different because of the doggers. Nope, that's the wrong way. Let's go this way. So, this is over on Geek Native. I haven't looked at their stuff in a while. So, Creature Curation, which is Brian Collins' Kickstarter, Brian Collins' Patreon, and where they put all their stuff out. They now take control of Astra. They own it. It's theirs. Launches Escape Stasis Kickstarter. And, like, look at this, dude. Links may earn money in ads. That's hilarious. So, indie studio Creature Curation has brought Vaskrim, a sci-fi horror role-playing game, entirely in-house, going as far as to purchase its own digital printing press. The more gives the creator full control over everything. So I showed the picture of Brian, but let me see if I can find this again for you really quick. Brian has bought a whole Xerox setup. I learned about it at Gen Con. It was getting installed while he was at Gen Con. And he is... This guy's a monster. So let's pull this over here. Check this out. So he is full on printing his own stuff now. And the setup that he built for this. Look at this. Print machine, your setup. It's using Fire Station or whatever the hell it is. I mean, it's got a Xeroxer, a printer. I think this is the computer that runs everything. And it goes all the way down. It has... It might be a... That actually might be a staple machine. But it's got a full staple print and fold. So this guy is 100% making his own stuff now. And he's mastering that. This is what the guy's booth looks like. And he's got Grim Expanse, Morkborg, Plunder. He's got a whole bunch of stuff at his little booth that he sells. He's great at showcasing his games and what they do. He's just a good dude. Just a good dude. And he's printing his own stuff. So, with that printing, he has taken, I think he was with Infinite Black before, and he's now brought it all in-house. So he's got full control of production of the new Kickstarter. And he's doing the new infectious sci-fi horror RPG, now published by its creators. And you can see he's doing all the print run. I don't know if... I'm guessing the boxes he'll have to do somewhere else, but I love the color scheme. I love this, like, smashed together, drawn over style, like a bad signal in space. Brian just... He gets it. He really gets it. And he's made something really cool. So he's got a new Kickstarter coming out called Escaping Stasis. And this is what it is. He's got a Vaskrim starter. A full Vaskrim starter set. Flesh of My Flesh. The Battle Binder. And he's doing the same thing I've been talking about doing, which him and I were thinking in like parallels. But he's doing binders to put all your stuff in and have binders when you go to play at the table. Like you're collecting artifacts. Like it's so fucking cool, man. Expanded rules, adventures in lore, his new punk shirt, and then they do patches. Every con he has a new little hex patch, and the way his, oh my god, his patches are so genius. The way his patches work is it has that Legionnaire banner across the top, and then he has all the patches that go below. And then now he even has fiction. But he gets free D66 patch and D66 Adventure Sparks table and become a free or paid member on Patreon. Plus back this campaign, learn more. He's got all of his colors down. It's all got a hand-drawn aesthetic. Look, man, I love this. I love that he's doing this. I think this is fantastic. I will 100% want to know when this is launching. We'll probably dive into it more. Maybe I can get him on for a quick corpse talk. We've already had him on before, but he's so much fun to talk to. And I want to know more about the printing and how he's doing this. But yeah, if you aren't following Brian, Brian is amazing, and he makes some of the best stuff in TTRPGs. He even has his own minis getting put together for the miniature game that he's building. I don't know where he sculpted these. I don't know who did it for him, but he just is crushing it. And if you don't know, he's a sculptor as well. The Creature Curations things kind of started from these crazy mounted pieces that he's done for Molt. But even before that, he was always making and building things. Just constantly. Look at this. Look at all this shit this man has built. I don't know when this happened. Bro's got a Vaskrim vinyl truck? Dude. He gets it, man. Look at this thing. Oh. You motherfucker. I still haven't had a chance to look at Molt. I need to get a copy and take a look. What? How fucking... When I had him on, this was still being produced. So cool, dude. This is my favorite. This piece, I've always loved the astronaut helm with the skull inside. That's always been one of my favorites. But anyway, if you are interested in following this, you want to know about the Kickstarter, I'll make sure it's down below in the description. I'll also put it in chat for the live show, but I am pumped for this. And really, like, that's kind of all the news I have today. At least news that has to do with other people. He needs a Nick. He needs a vast rim taco truck. Dude, it's so wild how much he's done, man. It's really crazy. Like Brian has done what every creator dreams of doing, except he has stayed focused. He's slowly brought the project in-house. It's similar to what I want to do. I'm just, years behind this man because he's been doing it solo for so long. He really should be kind of an inspiration to solo dev teams and like what they're making. Like, this man does all the work. Like, I get it. From nuts to butts, from art to writing. He'll bring some people in once in a while, but it's him. I love the aesthetic, the colors. Like, he just nails it. He really, really nails it. He wears his brand all the time. He loves what he does. And that matters. And that's kind of like, for me, I love the Corpse Talk vibe. I love the world that I've made for when we're doing our Corpse Talk, when the interviewee is going through them, that kind of aberrational bone world that we are making. I like Breachers so much. Like, I have 3 IPs that are really solid right now. And the 3 IPs would be your Athantia, your Breachers, and then Magic and Monsters, which I'm working on. But the whole theme of Corpse Talk is my vibe. And I really hope that I can do even half of what this man's done. He's such a nice guy. Like, it's fucking wild. So seeing someone in the TTRPG industry make it, be able to afford doing what he's doing, it gives hope to the rest of the creators out there. At least in my eyes, it does. And I guess the big thing he does that I am definitely not doing is boothing it. Like, he's working every con at a booth, selling their products, pimping what they have, and having fun doing it and meeting people. And I might have to, once I get Breachers up and running full and getting Athantia or Magic and Monsters, whichever comes out first, I might have to start boothing it. And I have an idea for a booth for something else I wanted to do, but I might be able to merge them together. I still believe that accessories are the best way to do a convention. I was doing anywhere between 18 to 25 conventions a year when I was working for TPK Games, Norse Foundry, and 2 other companies, and Cobalt Press. And I may even work for 2 at a con if I was just doing their networking and trying to hire for them and stuff like that. And when I was doing that stuff, I love going to conventions. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. I don't run that many games at cons. I'm so fucking busy doing everything but. And you can't run a booth and also run games at the same time. A lot of people, instead of vending, put their stuff in another booth, but then it's not branded the way as someone who does my full-time job is branding for companies and rebuilding the identity for a company. That is my main thing I've been doing for a chunk of my life, more than any other of my jobs. And I have a process behind it that I've merged from numerous companies that I've worked for over the years, larger companies, small companies, and then just me as a freelancer. And he's doing it. Like, he's done the branding in a way that you should do. I think Pirate Borg is also doing a really good job at branding who they are and what their stuff looks like. So, to me, I want to be able to do that. But you have to go all in at a level that needs some capital for it. You need some capital. So, if Breachers takes off the way I want it to, that's something I'm probably going to do. And with the Shadow League coming out for Shadow Dark, and right now, and Nick may know more about this, it sounds like the Shadow League is going to be convention play only. It's going to premiere at GaryCon. I would love to know more. I told them I'd be happy to be involved. But I think with Breachers Living Wall, which is going to be my organized play, I have a chance to keep the product going, have people playing the new stuff that comes out. It'll kind of overhaul a little bit of the Patreon, not a ton, because there's already levels for it, but it's going to be a fun way to kind of socially brand what I'm doing, because I want people to play the game. But anyway, I'm so excited for Brian. Yeah, it's any and all play, including home. Oh, okay. So do you know, Nick, before I move from this, are they pre-writing adventures? How are they going to do it? I haven't seen much of anything. And I've looked through their Discord. I'm sure I missed something because their Discord is got a lot of content in it. Have they talked more about how it's going to function yet? Because I haven't really seen anything. Like, if there's something cool, I would love to know. Organized play is a difficult thing. Running large communities and doing that stuff is time consuming. I'm assuming she's bringing some people on to run the Shadow League. She's got the audience for it now. That's the other thing too. Organized play is really hard when you don't have enough people to play those games. Like right now when I run Breachers, it's me running it. So I may run 2 or 3 tables. Yeah, oh, okay. They haven't given... Yeah, I saw that. I did all that kind of stuff. They haven't given too many clues as to the structure, but it's mostly a reward for playing in the same vein as Harbor Masters for Pirate Board. I hope... For me, with organized play, and I've talked about this on air before, for me, it's about people being able to grow a character and continue playing 1 to 3 characters, or as many as they want. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You want to play with your friends, play with your friends. But so that they can grow their character through play. And I feel like Shadow Dark has a pretty good structure on how experience is given out, because it's done through golds and boons and items that you find. And because of that, I feel like you can control the leveling pretty easily. Like things like Pathfinder Society and Adventure League, it's how many times you play, and that's how they're slowing it down. But I love the idea of it being the gold that gets handed out. I also love the idea of, for me, for Living Wall, I'm doing a large West Marches for this section of the wall that everyone will go in and play and explore and learn things, and it's going to be open for people to play. I'm hoping they do something like that. What I don't actually like is when they force you to run adventures that are written for whatever the organized play is. I don't always want to run those things. As a GM, as a talented GM, I want to run the things I want to run. Just give me the parameters of how much experience I can give out. I don't think that with GMs that create their own adventures all the time, you should be making them run something pre-written. You know what I mean? What's up, Star Drew? How are you doing, buddy? I really feel like you should let them make their own thing. I really do. I don't think you should be taking agency away from a GM. Let them be good at what they're good at. If you've written an adventure, some GMs know how to transcribe something into their style, others don't. And for me, Shadow Dark is so full of great random tables, and if you combine something like Knave with it, you don't even need anything else. Available is totally fine. I agree with available. Forced is what I don't agree with. Thank you. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Forced. Forced doing it, I don't like. I don't know, man. I think that there's some potential. Definitely some potential. Super fucking cool that they're doing this, though. Like, I wish there was more on it. I filled out for it. I would love to be involved in the planning for it. That's what I would really like to do. I would all in if I could be part of the planning for it. I was going to do it for Pirate Borg, but I'm not running Pirate Borg, and I don't want to be a Harbor Master for something that I'm not running frequently. I think it's an amazing game. It's just, I'm just so pirated out. Dude, my eyes are killing me today. I might have to go take an allergy pill. Hold on, everybody. Before we get into the meat of this. Stay up. That was 100% needed. My eyes are itchy as fuck, man. And the house is closed up and we have the air on right now. I'm curious to see what Carrot says. Carrot always gives me sarcastic remarks to like fucking pollen and shit like that. Carrot's my weather app for my phone. It's a paid year subscription, but it was the most accurate until everything was taken away. It even, wow. It even says, I'm a premium weather app made for premium weather nerds. You're not wrong, my girl. You're not wrong. So, I'm just looking to see. Oh, yeah. The allergens are fucking insane right now. All right, well, at least I know what's causing it for me. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm good. I'm happy for Vastra. I'm really happy. I'm really excited for it. I think it's fucking dope. But today, what I wanted to go over is something I found randomly. I didn't get messaged for this. I've been trying to get my affiliate status for Drive-Thru-RPG fixed up. And they changed it because there was a problem with my account where it wasn't linked in a way that was official for stuff. And I was like, well, I need to fix this so that I'm pimping all this stuff. I should at least have affiliate codes for anybody who wants to pick up books. We've had it happen so often, and I feel like I kind of shot myself in the foot by not doing that sooner. So now I have affiliate codes. I have affiliate codes for Drive-Thru-RPG now. And granted, if ever a company comes to me to have me review something, I'll do their affiliate code if they have their own through it. But for things that I'm just picking up and doing, like I bought this book. I bought it because I was like, this is fucking amazing. So I've been doing a lot of solo play to make my co-op shows with you all better. I've been just playing anything I can get my hands on. And I have a kind of a test bed of stuff that I like. A lot of people really love... What is the name of this book? Hold on here. It's like a GM emulator. And I'm gonna be honest, I am not the biggest fan of it. I think it is so fucking convoluted that it makes it almost unusable for the average consumer. Unless you read this solo book front to back and inside out, I just feel like you are shooting yourself in the foot. And this is all the MYTHIC emulators. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can see it. I've talked about it on the show before, but I don't think I've talked about it in a while. Okay? So let me pull up our MYTHIC fucking whatever it is. Is it this one? Sure, it's gotta be this one. Yeah, this is it. This is it. MYTHIC emulator. So let's go over to this. I'll show you what I mean. I'm just not... It's too much. So this is the MYTHIC emulator. It is huge. It is huge. Second edition. People swear by this. It is 230 pages for a solo game. 230 pages, dude. Like, granted, one, it's hyperlinked, so we already know what that means. It has everything in it hyperlinked wise. But it has like fake questions, random event scenes, but like their random event stuff is wild. So look at this. This is their fate chart, and they use percentiles for it. Right? And there's like a chaos factor that can be involved. And like all of this is awesome, but it's very involved. I feel like this book would crush if they sold like a binder to go with it. But here's your example of all your odds. And I think this is made for people who maybe aren't GM solo playing. Like if you're GM solo playing, this is some good inspiration, but it feels like it's too much. Right? And then they have the chaos factor, like when chaos, which JD would be super excited about. Super excited about. But it seems like it's too much. And 280 pages is a lot of fucking pages. Like, if we go back to page 2 or 3, whatever it is, 4. You have like all your stuff on making scenes. I think this is really good for making scenes. I think it explains a lot of really good stuff. The NPC behavior table, I think, is pretty fun. I think this is a really good set piece that maybe would be good. But all these charts, there's so many charts, guys. So many pieces. And if we scroll through this bitch fast, like this is like adventure list. We go to the back of the book. Here's your worksheets. So you got using, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to do page fit. So you got using the adventure craft area with Mythic. Then you have these, and these are single page sheets that you can print. Or you can print like 4 to a page. Then there's the adventure list that you're put together. Then there's the keyed scenes records sheet. Then there's the mid chaos fate checker mod, low chaos fate checker mod. Then there's all of these pieces. I'm still scrolling, everybody. This thread, this is the one that I didn't quite understand, that I can see ingenuity in it, but I didn't read enough times. But there's one where, like, if your goal is to, let's play, we're talking about Cyberpunk today, right? Your goal is to break into the animal's hideout and steal back a motorcycle. Right? So you got like that, and you know it's going to be an 8-part tracker. And every time you do something to it, you get something. At the flashpoint, something big happens and tends a conclusion. And every time you do something, it adds up. What precedes? Does it need to roll over or under? It depends on what you're doing. So I think we'll get to that chart here in a sec. Testing scenes, expected size. Look at these are awesome. These meaning tables, I have these that I use for just general gaming. These are great spark tables. Look at this. Terrain description. Let's say we do, what is this, 1 to 100? Let's say we do 89 and 4. So 89. It is a tranquil, tranquil, and then where's the other? A tranquil forest, I think is how you do it, because you roll on it. Sounds, spell effects, starship descriptors, powers, scavenging results, smells. Like, these are great one-word spark tables, right? Really well done. Really well done. Like, these sheets, I would laminate and put in the back of a folder in a fucking heartbeat, A5 style. You know what I mean? Really good. Really good. Look at this shit. Like, it just nails the vibe. But look at how we're still scrolling. So, like, you are flipping through this book longer than you're playing, I feel. At least when I was doing. So here's, I think we're getting into fate question rules, fate check modifiers. Like, these are things that modify your roll, a percentile roll. Fate questions result, which is exceptional yes, exceptional no, exceptional no's. And here's the chart. So you're asking what precedes this. So the way this would work is, we'll take the Cyberpunk thing. We get to the animal hideout, right? We get to the animals. It's in a dark alley. The neons are broken from a recent gunfight that was there. The door is bolted over. You can see they've reinforced it. Kicking it open isn't going to be an option. There is no access to the net from the outside. Maybe you can hack in through one of the lines if you were to climb. Is there a data jack somewhere above that I could get into that's not as easy, but is accessible? What are the odds? And you would say, as a whole, I think the chaos factor is a 2 during this. I'm at the animal's hideout. And then you would roll percentiles. So do percentiles in the audience. D100. While you're doing that, then there's modifiers that could be in place. So I could be like, okay, I think it's unlikely. Unlikely, I think. So I'm gonna say it's a -2 to the roll. It's gonna be an unlikely thing. So it's -2 category. So we're gonna roll and see what happens. And that -2 category would be if someone rolls, well, it's more than high and low. So you can see the other numbers here. So watch. Let's do this. Yeah, there we go. There's D100. Thank you. I always forget the delay. Okay, so 85. So we're like, okay, we're at Chaos level 2. We know that for Chaos Factor 2 for sure. We got an 85. We think it's going to be... it's going to be unlikely, right? Unlikely. So we'll say... we'll say unlikely. So there is an unlikely amount chance it'll happen. On an 83, so 2, 10, and 83. That's the variables in this, 2, 10, and 83. If you scroll down here for 2, 10, and 83, the way that works, we go all the way back to the beginning of this book to page 4. We're going to go to the fate check system, right? And this is how this functions. And this is the thing. Once you have this down, it's not that bad, right? So it could be worse. Let me find that fucking table here because they explain the table. Where's the table at? Now I want to see if the new Cyberpunk solo mode is going to do that. Okay, here we go. So this is your variable. The 10, 5, 91. We didn't get that, but that's what they're saying. 10, 50, 91. The way it works is the middle swaying one way, middle swaying the other. And it's a no. If it is a 50 to a 91, it's a yes. If it's a 10 or lower, it's an exceptional no. If it's a 91 or higher, it'd be an exceptional yes. Well, with ours, if we go back to it, go back past all these fucking tables. There's so many. With that 80, what was it? 85, we said chaos factor of 2. So 85, we said it's probably unlikely. Chaos factor 2, 85. It is, I think, unlikely. Oh, that's a good question. I don't remember which way it goes. I think high is better in this, I think. Yeah, because if you look at the variables, 50, nearly certain, 35, very unlikely, 25. No, high is bad. So it's low is good, so it's equal and under in this system. Right? Does that seem right? Equal and under? If certain's 50-50. Yeah. So we shifted it, said it's unlikely. That means we needed a 10 or lower. A 10 or lower. We didn't get that. So that means that we got above that, which is, it is no. And that's exceptional. The answer is opposite of yes. The opposite of yes intensified. No, not only is it a no that there's no port to get into this place. Not only is there no port, there are drones also patrolling this place. Us going to the roof would be dangerous. We don't know if they're delivery drones or whatever. So that's kind of how you use this. My question is, what the fuck are the other 200 pages for, right? And what they do, this is the thing that I like, but I don't think it is good for a GM, is it teaches you how to scale things. Like, how... It's going back up. There we go. Now we're back. Anyway, so scaling it, they teach you kind of how to scale these things, which is good, right? Kind of tells you what's up, teach you how to scale it, everything that's going on. It works pretty well. But like, there's just so much to this book that I feel like I am getting, I'm stopping more than I'm playing to look things up. Because you feel like if you have 200 and something pages, you should be leaning into this all the time. I'd like to know if anyone is using the simulator, if they use the whole book. Because they have different chaos charts for like how to use them, what to use, mid-chaos. Like, it's a wild amount of stuff in this book. So, my question is, going into the next part, how is Cyberpunk going to do this? Has Cyberpunk found a way to nail this? To nail this down? So, I got myself signed up. I'm in the affiliate program now. Ooh, how am I not following these? This came out, I think, this week? 9/16/25. So, yesterday it came out, right? Yesterday. This is an official, because that's all that comes out. Artel Solar only does their own stuff and hires people. They don't really have third-party licensing that I have ever seen. And they have put out this dark future version. You can go it alone. I'm zooming it in so we can read it a little easier. Let's see here. You can go it alone in the dark future. You hooked your Militech pistol and its interface into your brain, uploaded your cybernetic fist with carbo glass blades, and installed cyber eyes that pierce through the red haze like morning fog. There's a world full of opportunities there, just waiting for the right edge runner. Only there's a problem. Maybe you don't have a group. Maybe you don't have a game master. Maybe you are the game master, which is, I think, why solo play exists. Let's be real. Like, I think solo play exists because the game master wants to fucking play too. Just saying. Just saying. Single player mode provides the tools a gamer needs to play Cyberpunk Red on their own or as part of a group with no game master. Oh, that's cool. Teammate for group play. It'll even function as an assistant GM, ready and willing to fill in your blanks in your dark future story. The tools include closed and open question oracles, fine-tuned for playing in Cyberpunk Red. Nice. That is the problem when you are playing something like this. This book, you don't have it fine-tuned. They try their best, but MYTHIC GM emulator isn't always fine-tuned. Guidelines for running solo play, investigation, social challenges, and combat. Quick and dirty rules for fast fighting and net running. Ooh, I kind of want to play the detailed version, but we'll see how that goes. Rules for solo play clocks, adding random timers for unpredictability. I use those all the time in every show. Blades in the Dark taught me that clocks are your best friend. They let you spin plates, put pressure on players to make decisions, and so on. Don't put too many, though. And then it has mission builders create a gig from scratch, roll it on random, or use them in Inspire. I will say the other thing when I was running Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk Red has its own companion app. And this companion app lets you track and do a lot. And it's fucking amazing. And it even has an agent. And in this agent, there are contacts, data pool, goods and services map, NCPD database, network architectures, night market, notes, objective, random encounters, and weather. That's right. That's right. If we click this bitch right here, boop, and it goes, select the season below, and we'll go, we want December to February, boop, and it'll say overcast. You generate it again, boop, 50, generate it again, boop, light rain and sleet, generate again, overcast. So you can have the weather, but it even lets you do objectives. You can add objectives to what the players need to do. This is a really good way to track. That's not how they use the clock, Star Drew. Great. That's a question without being a question. We'll get into that, though. Over 100 listed tables, random encounters, charts to help you populate your Cyberpunk Red game, with people, places, things, and organizations and plots. Forums to keep track of, NPC stat blocks and scenes and gig trackers. Expert solo player Peter North of Hollow Pond's Solo Sagas has teamed up with Artel Soren Games to create the ultimate solo play guide for Cyberpunk Red. Okay, cool. Use it on your own or use it with friends. Either way, it'll enhance your Night City. So, this is what they did. It's a big book. It's a really big book. I'm excited. I don't know anyone who's talked about it. People are asking questions. So I said, fuck it. I want to know what this is. I want to know what we're getting into. If it's good, can we make something of it? Is it great for all play? Is it great for all play? That's what I want to know. Right? That's what I want to know. I don't know if it is, but we're going to find out. So, this is a big book. I love this art is hilarious to me. This is every version of like the solo players, but look at it's two Cyberpunk people. 1 out of 20. Yeah, it could be. And then they had the police here. I think this should have been Trauma. If I do this, I want to play Trauma Team. I want to do a Cyberpunk, someone who works for Trauma Team or one of the ambulances that show up before you work for Trauma Team. Like one of the low-lying ones, not the main big bads, and play through. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So we're going to look over this like always, see what's involved, see what we're getting, and then we'll look at maybe recording a quick 15-minute review on this so I can put this out later. Omen Drome's finalized review should be out tomorrow or Friday. I think I might be starting to put things out just on Friday, so there's a gap between, because we have a Monday show, a Wednesday show, and a Friday release would be great. And I'm trying to release stuff from the week before. I might even make it to where they become private videos for the first for Patreon first. I haven't decided if I want to do that. I don't know if that's something people would want for Patreon, if they want first access to videos. Maybe I will. I don't know yet. I kind of like just having them out there and producing the products that I'm producing and letting them have first looks at those. But some people want to support the video more than the creation. So I'm kind of curious. Oh my God, I am actually really curious about this part. I'm really curious about what he has to say here. So let's do page width. I started role playing in the mid '80s. My brother and I would walk across town to the YMCA and spend all Sunday playing with the Phoenix Gamers. This wasn't in Phoenix. It was in, what is it? Walthamstow, London. One day someone brought Cyberpunk, the original box set, aka 2013, and lent it to me saying that it was just what I was looking for. They weren't wrong. Had all the elements from science fiction I've been reading. I started running a campaign straight away. Soon after that, I was off to university. Cyberpunk 2020 had come out, and I was running one campaign up in Liverpool during term and a second back home while on break. Both those campaigns ran through all my years in the university and for a few years after. Dude, I miss having the big, long campaigns. I did the same thing. Drew and I actually met playing that way. I met him at, God, was it Walden Books? No, I met Mike. I met Mike when I was working at Walden Books part-time as like a key holder or something. And then he's like, oh, we're at Siena Heights. Would you want to come run games? I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. He's like, well, I'm there early in the summers because he was doing psychology. You can meet the people who play. So I met Drew and I met Alex and I met Carl during that time frame. And then my buddy Jason Ott came and started playing with us as well. So we ran those through, I'd have to ask Drew, but I feel like I ran it Drew's freshman year up through senior year before I left. I'm pretty close to it. Then I left to come out to Milwaukee. And I was traveling a bunch and stuff like that. So we didn't miss sessions often, but it did happen. So that's pretty cool. Life got busier. I moved to Australia, left my gaming group behind. Games became harder to cram in. And most people I met who could sit down at the table only wanted to play a certain popular fantasy game. Eventually, I was down to playing once a year at conventions. That's sad. Enter solo role-playing. Just before we all globally encouraged to stay at home in real life year 2020, I stumbled upon solo play. After playing alone for a while it is solo gaming, I decided to share my love of it with the world and started my YouTube channel, Hollow Pond's Solo Saga. Initially, most of the games I played on channel either came with solo rules or some homebrewed solution, but not the game I had always loved and missed the most. I really miss playing it. Needs must. So I summoned my years of game mastering experience playing in groups, and now it's a solo play, and built a set of rules so I could play a series on the channel and rekindle the love. I played Cyberpunk Red without a game master. That's fucking cool. Hi Servant Hands, you missed it. Fiona, Miss Fee chewed a hole in her side, chewed her fur off, so she's stuck up here with me. Aren't you, baby girl? You okay? You gonna wag your tail at least? There you go. She chewed a hole in her side, so I'm kind of watching her to make sure she doesn't keep chewing it, so I may get distracted. She's over here right now. Just making sure she's good. My allergies are really bad today, too, so I think it's allergies. She has a pill in her, but she's miserable. But today we're looking at the single-player mode for Cyberpunk. So now you can do it, and now you can do it. Whether you've never roleplayed before, can't get a group together, or your crew is fantasy mad. Fucking fantasy mad people. And you just want some edge running fun. Take these rules and guidelines and make them their own. Build your own stories and dive into the joy of solo creativity using a single player mode. Welcome to Solo Play, Chumba. I'm excited. Yeah, it's like this big. $50. Little teethy marks, nothing too bloody. She obviously got bit or something got her and she just went at it. I don't know. It happened last night. I was up late and Jen was up early, so it happened in that like couple hour gap. So going it alone. So let's see what they give us here. Talk about assembling your crew. What is solo play? Why not just cheat? This is the question everybody always has. You know, actually, I feel like this should be in yellow. Right? Yellow, because isn't the box set yellow? No, I like the blue better. I'm going with the blue. Why not just cheat? End of the day, it's still your game. Cool. Why solo play? This is a great question. I get this question a lot. Like, why do I do solo play? One, I'm the forever GM. That's why I do solo play. Like, I don't really have a fucking choice. I don't get to play games. Like, this is my solution. I don't get to play games. I have to run it if I want to play. I don't get to do it without a Mythic emulator, finding something on drive-through-RPG and doing it myself. But for other people, why do they do it? Why solo play? Why not just play a video game or join a group? Look, solo play, story's better. It just is. It's your story. Don't get me wrong. Things like Cyberpunk 2077 do help, but it's not the same. With video games, they can offer the same freedom and creative expression. Can't offer the same freedom or creative expression that a tabletop role-playing can. Sure, video game provides escapism and storytelling, but you're still playing within someone else's framework, following someone else's rules, and ultimately telling someone else's story. Solo play, on the other hand, lets you create your own world, write your own narrative rules, tell your own story, as brilliant as Cyberpunk 2077. Which is true. It's true. The tale you tell is V's. It's true. And you're constrained by the limitations of the medium. Also true. There are buildings you can't walk into, NPCs you can't chat with, items you can't interact with. With solo play, the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. This is why I do it. I just finished playing my first kind of campaign arc for a kaiju-based game, which I had a lot of fun with. It was my first... Hold on. It was my first, like, garbage print. Where did I put it? Hold on here. Is it this one? It might be this one. I hope it's not this one, because it's hard to get out. Is it this one? I think it is. No? Oh, it's not. It's not in here. Ooh. It's up above. But anyway, I printed it. It was a garbage copy. I was like, I know my printer can print better than this. What the fuck is going on? So I printed a better version of it later on, but I still used the garbage copy because it was the original. Maybe it's up here. Now I want to find it. Pretty long. And it was fun. I like actually enjoyed it. But it is trash. It was an utter trash print. Motherships. Well, I don't know if I have it actually. I don't think I have it. This got Archiver in it though. I'm excited for my Omen Drone copy to come in. We'll definitely look at that. I know I'm talking loud, but so you can hear me. Nah, I don't have it here. Oh wait, is this it? No. No, I don't know where it is now. I put it away because I was like, all right, I'm done with this. I'll use my new print copy. But Home is the name of the game. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed running that game for myself. It just, I don't know, something about it, and it kind of clicked. I was like, I want to do more of this. So I started honing down on like co-op play versus solo play, if ChatGPT could help, if it can't, if it made good emulator, and the answer is it doesn't do well. Even the ones made for writing don't help. I found that it's a really good editor, but as a creative assistant, you have to give it really finite guidelines to keep it in check. And if you're doing something big, you need to create a folder with an architecture with other chat pieces in it so that you have it like per chapter of what you're doing. And it's gruff. It's a great baseline to get rid of second guessing yourself and not to be in a full silo. So that's a great question, Serving Hands. Better than One Ring. Look, I think One Ring has some good solo elements. The writer of it is a great solo designer. I think the problem is that the Doom Eye piece didn't make a lot of sense, and the journey wasn't there, and it was missing all the extra tools because it was a small solo play packet. The game wasn't made for solo play, and I think they didn't dev it right. Their solo play for Coriolis, which is also from Free League, is fucking phenomenal. And they get, I think because solo play has become popular, that was one of the first ones to be put out. I think people get it, and it's getting better. And then they put out another One Ring solo adventure, finally, to teach you kind of how to do it. And that made all the difference in the world. So, in the beginning, yeah, it was kind of gruff, I'm not going to lie. Now, it's a lot better. They really did kind of step it up. So, now Fiona, you're staying in here. She's getting antsy. So, why not just join a group? Well, sometimes you can't fucking join a group, guys. Sometimes it's hard to find one. Some people don't want to play. A lot of people don't want to play Cyberpunk. They only want to play D&D. That is a common fucking problem. I'm lucky with my stream because my players like to play everything. They trust me as a GM to be able to create a story no matter what set piece we're in that's going to be enjoyable. Some of them were so good that they don't want to play the setting anymore. Aliens and Diana, although Diana said she would play it again. Just because it was so stressful, like actually stressful. The stress mechanic works that well, especially if you leverage it the way I was leveraging it. And I think that people don't understand why other game systems work, so they stick to what they know. And some people just don't want to learn another game system. So a lot of people who finish, 2077, like he's saying here, and they want to come and play this. I agree. You watched Edge Runners. Edge Runners is fucking phenomenal. I really need to rewatch Edge Runners. Is it easy to solo Cyberpunk Red? That's a really good question. The Detroit Bite game. Detroit Bite game. Oh, Detroit Living City, the Cyberpunk one that I did? There's so many other settings and systems. It can't just be D&D all the time. And look, like, I don't even think D&D 5e is a bad system. I've said that since OGL. I think it's a good system. There's a reason everyone was using it or riffing on it or making their own. Is why Jay made 07 from it, and I gutted it down and upgraded from PF1 to this new version he has now, which is way more elegant. There is something about the advantage-disadvantage system that doesn't hold you up. It really does do something. It really does do something. And I don't have a problem with it. It's just the company that I don't want to support. And there's so many other people making amazing... You got the Brian Collins of the world with Vasgrim doing this shit. That motherfucker's making binders. Like, why would I give a shit about anything that is going on with D&D? So, and I like other systems more. I love Dragonbane. Dragonbane is probably my favorite, like, actual fantasy system. And I think it's not quite gritty and grimy as, say, Shadowdark, but it does have some grime to it, and it is difficult. So, anyway, is it easy? This is a good question. This is a really good question. You wonder, how do you do this when you're usually a gang of people, right? When we look at tabletop role-playing games and ask ourselves, can this be soloed? It's often a question of how much work the GM does to make the game flow. Yes, they arbitrate and enforce the rules, but that's only a fraction of their job. The GM's main purpose is to keep the story flowing by focusing on how the narrative reacts to the player's decisions and dice rolls. I could not have said this better. Legitimately, this whole section, hold on here. Can we do this? Can we do this, please? Please? No, you motherfucker. Fine. Fucking be a bitch. I don't like the highlighting tool in Sterling. This whole section, every player should know. I don't think players at a table realize what a GM does. It is taken for granted in home groups too often, or at least not praised at all by the players. It is a true art to be able to weave a story inside of player decisions. I know there are GMs that just force a railroad, and I think some paths are good for GMs to make players follow to get through really fun scenes. But like, GMs put a fuck ton of work into what they do. So anyway, this is also true of solo play. And I think that people don't understand that solo play is your GMing with an assistant. So this is also true of solo play. We're guiding a story, and our goal is the best story we can create. But instead of a group to bounce ideas off of, we're using oracles, a system that generates answers to questions to replace the gorgeous improvisational chaos of a full gaming table. JD, right there, baby. If you see this later, your word's there. It's right there. It's right there for you. But it's true. I mean, hell, even MYTHIC, if we go back into this, they talk about chaos in their fate system, right? In their fate check. There's literally a chaos table. Where are you at? Literally there's a chaos factor here, right there. So, I mean, it's obvious that that is something in all tables. Remember, we take the burden of the story as a solo player in the role-playing game. We're not serving ourselves or even characters in decision and interpretations. We are serving the story. How you use a single-player mode is up to you. Only you get to decide how your table is run. So I talk about single-player solo play, multiplayer solo play. This is basically what I'm doing with Stream. I'll have to go take a look at this guy's work. I mean, because we've been doing this for Breachers forever with Streamloot cards. Like, I'm adding another level of GM work. And when I'm running it for the stream, I'm definitely GMing as we are playing. I'm acting as the Oracle along with the Oracle to keep it semi-true to the nature of solo roleplay. So the assistant GM, this one isn't actual solo play, but it's still 100% valid. Game masters can use single player mode to generate missions on the fly, create encounters at random, or fill in the gaps in existing story. The group head to the South Night City instead of Watson like you planned. You can use a single player mode to roll for random encounters. You can put the current gig on hold and generate a new one on the fly. Want to flesh out the crew's night off? Single player mode can be used to decide what players... Are you chewing? Fiona? Hey, Fee. I heard her. I was making sure she wasn't chewing. Solo player mode for random encounters. You can put the current gig on hold and generate a new one. Solo player mode can be used to decide what's playing at the bar when they picked. Oh, that's cool. So they have a lot of random tables in here. So I'm excited for this. They talk about going alone. An example of solo role play. I'm kind of curious to see how they do this. Dude, I fucking love Cyberpunk so much. I love it. Yes, Fee, no chewing. I love it so much. I love this art. The bright pinks. I call Detroit neon black because the only thing that shines through the darkness of it is the neon signs. That's how I describe my city of Detroit for Cyberpunk. Also, one of my favorite logos I've designed of all time. The skull with the fucking tailpipes coming out. It was just wild. Wow, it's so good. So, I'm curious to see how they did this. Do we kind of read it? I think I kind of want to. I think this is the part I kind of want to read more than the rest. Peter's sitting down for the beginning of Cyberpunk REDs Solo play. Campaign. He decided to center it on the Sightseers, a nomad pack operating out of Night City that specializes in transporting small goods and people. He begins the basic premise, creating a role, a few random tables. The Sightseers are hired by a fixer to smuggle goods from a day market to the fixer's office. It went off without a hitch. Well, almost without a hitch. The Sightseers' youngest member, Swirl, has a bit of a problem with her keeping her hands off people's belongings. Peter realized during the mission that Swirl might be tempted to take a few pieces of contraband for herself. He decided the DV for Swirl to focus on the job and not the shiny loot was 15. He rolled a d10, added Swirl's will plus concentration, and came up with a 14 in total. Hey, he could have spent luck, but he didn't. He could have spent luck, for those who don't remember, or you can spend it to adjust your shit. Swirl helped himself to a handful of goods. Starting a new session, Peters asked himself the question, did the client notice some of the items were missing? He consults the oracle and decides the probability is likely. Client had a manifest. After all, he also rolls a D100 with a 45. Not only yes, but a yes with complication. Needing more inspiration, Peter rolls on the people of Night City table to determine who paid the fixer to set up the job, a local cop. And then he consults the beat chart. Beat chart, by the way, is not like the beat the cops on. The beat chart is how Cyberpunk handles their stuff. Hey, what's up, Martel Soren? Did you see we put out free DLC that adds even more tables to this? Yes, I did. I have that. I had to pull up on the side. I'm excited for this, man. I ran a full Cyberpunk series called Detroit Living City, and we had a riot, and I ran it for Norse Foundry for like, I don't know, I think we did 3 seasons of Cyberpunk over there. All that's been moved because they changed their style, but it's been fantastic. Been a fan since I was a kid. So this is cool. They have also complications added. I love the idea of complications for those tables. I feel like if you don't do that and it's just like a strong yes, strong no, you're not adding something into the scene. So I always like the idea of complications. Pretty cool. So the beat chart is kind of the process of the beats of the story. That's how beat charts work in Cyberpunk. Let's see here. Where should the new adventure begin? For a hook, he rolls play a cliffhanger. Great. Today's session is starting right out of the action, which you all know I love doing action right out of the gate because that's just fun as fuck. So you can see that all this is done. They kind of set up the cop's name, Sergeant Titus Sarge, and they set it all up. Also, ooh, did they do this? Let me click off the highlighter. Maybe in Adobe it did it. Oh, I have it over here instead. You used to highlight over the pictures and it would tell you who did it, but now they just put the tab on the side, which is cool, for who did the art. So you can see they kind of break through it, and then they do mixing and matching here. So when it comes to playing solo, you might need Cyberpunk Red, a core rulebook, single player mode. I would do the interfaces as well because it's nice to have the extra gear, but you can kind of build that up. Like when I do gear for people who have never played a game. So for example, when I ran Cyberpunk for the second year, I think Interface 2 was out. I told the group, because they played 1 year, hey, the interface books are open. Otherwise, I would only give interface stuff out while we were playing or only at night markets. And I did that to not overwhelm the players. Players get whelmed way easy when it's a new system. And you have 1,000 versions of what it is. It's kind of hard. They don't know what to buy, and analysis paralysis kicks in. And I refuse to have shopping episodes when I'm doing actual plays, or actually just even home tables. Fuck, I wouldn't even have a shopping one for me. Thanks, Artel Soren. After this is done and I look through it live, I shoot like a 15-minute recap as a review, and I put that out afterwards. I'll make sure I ping you when that goes out as well on the channel. It's just the easiest way to do it. I like doing it live with everyone so they can get a deep dive, and for those who want like a 15-20-minute version, that'll come out afterwards. Hit me up if there's anything else you'd like me to review, though. Or take a look at, I should say. So, back to what we're talking about, though. The idea of them having multiple books, you just don't want them to get overwhelmed. Pick a couple things. I will say in games like this, and also Mork Borg, you see what a merchant has as a random table. I've been a big fan of that. I use it for Breachers as well when we use this crazy-ass spider merchant. Which still needs to be painted. But we all have, usually we say buried under gray, but this is red plastic. But I usually take the idea of having a merchant table and having those things available to market. The same thing happens in Cyberpunk with Night Market, so it's a good way to introduce maybe things to the GM you think the players would like. And when you're doing solo play, you get to make that decision on your own, which is cool. It'd be nice, like this gentleman is doing people who run goods. You could just say, oh, they're running goods today. Let's use interface 2, roll 3 things out of that interface, and have those be items that are what we're delivering. Something really fun. Maybe it's for our character, and honestly, it's your story. If you want it to be for you, then fucking let it be for you. You know what I mean? So when it comes to playing solo, you need the core rulebook, single player mode. I'm curious to see if this would work with 2077 as well. I would assume it would, because I think the idea of being the solo, and if people play 2077, it's a really good relation to 2077. So I hope quick hacks would work. Game master screen is nice. If I'm running solo games, I usually lay my GM screens flat on my table and put my journal on top. And then I write the most important things I use all the time in the beginning of my journal for the game. And I love like post-it notes and like folded paper. I want it to feel like a journal when I'm done. You could do digital as well, and your own fucking choice. Then the data pack, the Scream Sheet Adventures provide great loose frameworks. The 20 things list can help. That's awesome. Danger Girl Dossier with over 100 NPCs, complete with bibliographies and stat blocks. That's also good. Danger Girl Dossier is really good. I have that. I use that a lot, actually. I don't know what these are. The battle mats? Being able to visualize. Oh, these must be like digital packs. For me, the thing I use for digital maps, as you guys know, I've been doing cartography forever, but I also have some patron people that I follow that make really cool. One of them is called Cyber Maps. I've been using these since we have been doing Cyberpunk on Norse Foundry. This gentleman here, which I'll link in chat for those who are interested in having Cyberpunk maps or any for dystopian anything to be 100. He has some amazing maps. Like this Hacker Den's a new one that came out. Let me play this for you. It's really clean. And you saw a lot of this kind of stuff on ours. He makes them layered so you can plug and play things in it. So let's take a look at that. There we go. Now it pulled up. I was making sure it would pull up. So you can see here these wonderful maps from this guy. And this is what I use when I'm playing Cyberpunk. We also used it for John Wick when I ran John Wick. Really clean, tons of stuff. Usually one map with probably 2 to 4 add-on pieces for them where you can change them up. And then usually a hollow core as well where it's just the walls. But he's amazing. If you haven't been following this gentleman, his stuff is next level. Oh, what's this? Oh, he's doing some... This is a colossal robot one, so even some sci-fi inspired stuff. Right? Chinatown one's one of my favorites. Mute this. But you can see all the stuff he does for Chinatown. He has racing maps too, so really good. And he puts out MP3s, 4K versions and whatnot. But Cyber Maps is the go. Really the go. Single player mode, obviously you're gonna need this. Card decks. Card decks are always good. Again, I think the app on the phone for Cyberpunk Red is phenomenal. I use that to generate, is really good for generating nodes for hacking. And then we get into Night City. We got a new map of Night City, I think. I don't think I've seen this one before. This seems like it might be a new version. Watson, everything that's here, they broke them down. If anyone's played in 2077, a lot of this is gonna look familiar, right? Just think of that, like, look at this, guys. This map is what you're playing in Cyberpunk 2077. If anyone says you need a world map for what you're doing, you can base an entire game in one fucking city. Most people who live in, say, New York, a lot of them don't leave their city because everything's there. More art, great again. I've always loved the big heads-up style cyber decks. It looks like a person's... This is the best version of someone playing tabletop as art I have seen. They're usually so chintzy and weird. This is great. Are these otters? Or ferrets? Those are otters. I don't know why there's otters there, but I have questions. And this looks like an ode to a little bit to Horizon Zero Dawn, but that's just me. And you got all this stuff around, but he's playing by himself. It's cool. I know the otters, dude. Yeah, what the hell are otters there for? There's not a lot of living things, so those must be... They're preserved otters. Maybe they're not even alive. So here's the core rules. This is the part we're going to get into. We got 806 pages. We're not going to be able to go through all of them, but we are going to get a feel for what we're looking at. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. We're going to highlight everything in blue that looks important so that when I go through and do my flip through, we're good. I'm also going to be writing numbers down here on the side for any pages that I want on the dry erase board, and we'll see what we get. So the Oracle. Well, the word Oracle in solo play is borrowed from the ancient and literary sources, specifically ancient Greece and Rome. The idea is to perceive things, right? They have check questions. Can Swirl sneak past the cops? Can Endo climb over the fence? Does the cop find Endo's hidden gun? And so on. Those are check questions. Those are things that where you're going to be using a DV and rolling a skill. For those who don't know, this is difficulty value. For those who aren't familiar with Cyberpunk, that is a stat, skill, and a D10 put together. And then you're going to roll, I think in Cyberpunk it's over the DV. I think you have to beat the difficulty value if memory serves. It's been a little bit. Let's make sure. I don't know if it's a Meets a Pizza for that game. Is it Meets a Pizza? I'm looking it up. Da, 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 da. They roll that to beat, not meet. So it is beat. It is beat the difficulty. Yeah. Yep, that's the one map we're using for Night City 2045. The source book. It's a brand new release and part of Night City. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a new one. Thank you. I was pretty sure that was a new one. So, closed questions. Closed questions are things that are going to be like, is there a police blockade between the crew and their objective? The way I explain it is, I need to know as the GM with an Oracle, it's not something I can make a skill check for, but I want to know, is it possible? Like in our sample earlier, was there an area to fucking jack in for me to get into this animal ganger's place? And we said probably not. And then on top of that, our complication was that there was drones. See, we were already putting complications in before we knew the rules, because I think that's naturally how GMs think. And we're seeing that more in game design right now in general, where we're seeing that sway of fail and success and what those edges do and what those complications are. Every GM has been doing it forever. Ben Milton did a talk about how GMs move the average of how difficult something can be and how wide that center band is. It's really good. So with that, good closed questions. This is the art of solo play. In my eye, this is the art. When asking closed questions, try to frame it so that yes is more the interesting answer. No might make the simpler time, but it tends to make for a more boring story. Will the cops stand and fight is a good question. Will the cops run away is not. You want something that is a declaration of action or drama when you're asking those questions. I still believe in the South Park, but therefore. So when you are doing improv, yes and is the words that you use. Where someone says, yes, we're in fantasy, but I have a pair of Ray-Bans from 2020. And the next person in the improv troupe would have to say, yes, and those are from Back to the Future. We are on the set right now. And you have to kind of follow with the yes and. Why those things would be there. We're on a movie set. Really, those shouldn't be here, like the Starbucks cup during, Game of Thrones. But when you do but, therefore, yes, there are glasses. No, Fiona. My dog is scratching. I'm trying to keep her calm. But, therefore, is different. So if those same glasses are there for some reason, these sunglasses are, but those glasses are here. Therefore, let's talk about how we are travelers from 2020, whatever it may be. And you keep the story at least guided versus just an explosion of chaos. And you'll notice I do that a lot when I'm running my live shows, because I have to deal with the cast that just is doing crazy things. And with Mythic Bastionlands, we had to do that a lot. So those closed questions that create good actions are important. They teach you how to consult the Oracle as well. So you got a 1d20 check for the Oracle. There are 5 possible outcomes. No with complication. Complicated, yes with complication, yes. And that's a D100 roll, which is what you're using in the Fusion system or in Cyberpunk Red. Apply the answer and play the results. Let's run through examples of an outcome. So their question is Is there a police blockade between the crew and their objective? A no is the cops aren't putting up roadblocks in this part of Night City tonight. No with complications. The cops aren't putting up roadblocks, but they have increased their patrol presence. Better watch your speed meter and obey traffic laws. So that's true. Complicated. The cops aren't putting up roadblocks, but they've set up cameras along the road. Everything is being recorded and will be checked later, possibly leading to consequences down the line. Nothing like getting caught in a speed trap when you're shooting somebody. And then, yes, with complications, the cops can put up roadblocks. Worse, there's an alert out looking for stolen goods. The crew currently has stowed away in their vehicle's trunk, which that goes back to the story we were talking about earlier. And then, yes, the cops have put up roadblocks. It is the end of the month, and they need to write tickets, seize property, and raise revenue for the quotas. We all know what that's like. We've all been there. No, the 4th of July, man. People getting hit. It's been horrible. Damn flying cameras. Yes, damn flying cameras is horrible. So we have this kind of chart, right? And they have the probability. And this is honestly, it's the smaller version that we see here, which is, I think, where a lot of like solo RPGs come from this fate chart. This is really complex, right? There's a lot to this when you're adding that chaos factor in. But here it's the simplified version. And there's a simplified version of that book as well, where you just have the 5 levels of probability, and then you have what you get and the range bands in there. Okay? This is that thing you print, honestly, and you just fucking glue that thing to the front of your journal. Or if you're like me, like we've been talking about these A5 binders and stuff lately, you just do it in an A5 binder. I know Vaskrim, and they're doing that stuff. That's kind of what you get here. So you got your open question. You're going to be able to roll on these. That's cool. Great. This is great. Verb, bribe, noun, grid, adjective, remote. What is this for? Oh. Okay. Okay. For example, let's say Endo and Swirl are ducking into an old warehouse in Haywood Industrial Zone. In an attempt to avoid the cops chasing them, Peter is certain the warehouse isn't empty, but isn't sure what's inside. So he asks a simple open question. What's inside the warehouse? Then he rolls each of the verb, the noun, adjective. This reminds me of the MCG, how you make your sentence when you make your character in Cypher system. You know, the verb, the noun, and adjective. So you got pages, also hyperlinked, by the way. All this is hyperlinked, as every book should be. And I think Artel Soren, Monty Cook Games, and there was one other one really hyperlinked things well. And I love the one with the tabs that were in when we were playing Detroit Living City. Had the tabs like you were on a page, like a web page. That was really cool. But so if you click the verbs, you see you have D100 tables for your verb, and it's 100 verbs that you can use, right? Pretty simple. It's nothing crazy, but it gets the job done. And then same thing for your nouns and everything else. So you can kind of put this together, right? Grid doesn't feel right at the moment, but bribe and remote spark idea, it's right. So you kind of take those and fill them in. That's why they're called Spark tables, and I think Chris McDowell really nailed the idea of Spark tables with Mythic Bastionlands. We used them for that whole 11-episode season for MBL, which we just finished, and I was using those non-stop. So you use the information. How you're going to use it's up to the person in the solo play or the co-op if it's you in the co-op. This is great. Here, right here. This is important. Just adopt and enjoy the ride. I would write that top of my journal. Yeah, crawl an event. Yeah, crawl an event. So they got gameplay tools as well. Already discussed core components. I hope they mention their digital app. That digital app is killer. I think it's a solo sandbox dream. And then investigations. When you're running an investigation scene as part of your solo game, it's important to balance character action with structure of your storytelling. Investigations are hard to run. It is not something that all groups know how to do. And like this here, this kind of like skill challenge for how many checks you need to solve is important. I'm definitely going to write down page 14 is something that I want to hit up when I'm going through this for the other version. Checking on Puffles. So you set a goal, set a number of checks, skill checks, DVs, and actions and what they are. I like to scale them a little bit. I usually use broad difficulty in a scene when I'm doing solo or when I'm running games online.
or if I'm running live shows, I like to set a DV for the action of what's going on. So like everything in here is a 15, the AC and everything. And then if I feel I need to skew something below that DV 15, I would put, you know, DV 18 for anything involving sight because there's fog. And I will put that below. That's how I write my environmental and scene stat blocks. But I have like an overarching DV. It's something Nick and I have talked about doing for adventure design where everything on this page is a 15 unless you say otherwise. It's pretty easy to do. And you can put those in the margins down the side. You need stuff to put in the margins of your book anyway. But it makes for good adventure design because it lets GMs run things easy. So your first skill check's a 15. Second skill check's a 17. They're doing an escalating skill check here. Successes and failures, how to handle them. And then going in unaware. What happens when you go in unaware? They're teaching you how to find that stuff. Let's see what page 31 is. I'm just curious as to what that is for unaware. So going in unaware, lists and tables. There's a whole bunch of closed questions. Oh, they got stuff for morale. Dealing with people with morale. Okay, so we'll get to this. Also, great art yet fucking again. Social challenges. I think this is where solo RPGs get goofy for people. Right here. This. Because you're like, how am I supposed to run a social conversation with myself? How in the fuck is that supposed to be fun? Now, you've seen me do it when I'm running Breachers in Shadow Dark, or now Breachers in Living Wall. You see when I'm doing that, and I'm like, you know, I'm just going to have a conversation with myself, kind of talk it back and forth. Like you were doing the action figures. Once you get the silly out of your head, it works all right. You can also just work through the questions that they're saying to each other, but I think that internal monologue is fun. And when you're a writer, you're having those internal monologues a lot anyway. These social challenges, just let them out. You don't have to say them out loud. You're by yourself. The only person who thinks it's silly is you in the room, and maybe my dog. But nobody else thinks you're silly because nobody else can fucking hear it in solo roleplay. It's a great way to kind of get your brain working. You know what I mean? So they talk about setting this up. Background characters, people who are involved in it. I think that's important. If they have a good way to generate background characters in this, that'll help a ton. See, they have single player mode. That's what starts on page 33. They have adjectives on 36. Determine their look and verbs, 34. And they're kind of walking you through this. They have your mask names, fem names, and anywhere in between. Especially in a dystopian world, a cyberpunk world, you need everything, right? And then supporting characters, the next level up, characters that are important. So your background characters are just people and descriptions. I believe in canonizing a character when they're on scene. Unless I know they're, like, for example, part of the gang that swirls in, I usually just do the canonizing them. Similar to what was it? Star Trek, I think, kind of really put the thought that GMs had, but put it on the page. When I put a character on a note card or a sheet, I just write their name and their description. And then when they do something important, I add that skill. And then every time they're on scene, I try to add one more thing to them, or I like to ask the players what they do. What is this person known for? Or if I can tie it to one of their backgrounds. Those are really cool ways to develop a supporting character as you're going through. And that's kind of how I handle those supporting characters, right? And they talk about it. Quick trap down the life path. If you're not familiar with the life path, they have life paths inside Cyberpunk Red. It's fucking wild ways that you can generate your characters out of the gate. Really fun ways to do it. Then they have key characters, and I think a key character on mine. My rule has always been when they filled the note card, the front of the note card, they're a key character. They deserve a full voice. They deserve a full piece. I think actually, they even say the character's full voice. So they get everything, right? It's time to take the time to give a character the full voice. Who they are, why they're important, your favorite NPCs. Come on, highlighter, stop being a bitch. There we go. This is important. And they kind of break it down. I'll even talk about Danger Girl. You can just pick an existing NPC if you don't want to make your own. Just pick one and reskin it or use it as is. Night City has a plethora of people. You set your goal and go through. Really cool. Making checks, how to do it. They're teaching you all the social graces that you need. Solo play and combat is going to be difficult for a lot of people because you're like, how do I set the action piece? I do believe in either a virtual tabletop or something I can sketch on to write the map out so I know where I am and what I'm doing. And they kind of give you a combat breakdown here. Another great art piece. I love how grungy all of this is. They got a sample through here. Morale. Not everyone wants to go out in a blaze of glory. That's right. Some motherfuckers just run. And this is where that morality is coming into play. How to end the fight, when to keep the fight, so on and so on. Know your combatants. Reflex of 8. An evasion skill of 6 or higher. Stuff like that. Remember, you can dodge bullets when you have a certain rating. Don't worry about, like, memorizing it. Just write it down. It's a great way to learn the rules, honestly. They own a weapon of value of luxury or higher. And they kind of give you a breakdown. Make tactics checks on, like, what they would do. Count the attacks. Count the attacks, because I'm guessing if we scroll back up here, they probably talk about this end fight. Where's this at? Where is the end? This has got to be how many... Is this how many attacks, maybe? I just want to find it quickly so when I record the video, I'm speaking intelligently about this. Morale. Oh, there's the quick and dirty rules. I wonder... That might be this. Ah, this is the quick and dirty rules. I see. So this is made to their mentality, you rolling, and then if you're ending the fight or keeping the fight going, if you want more of a narrative than an actual combat. That's actually a fun little... This is great for that shit that doesn't matter. Like, if you're like, this scene doesn't justify a full combat, you can get away with this. What page is this? 21. That's a great quick and dirty kind of feel. I actually like that a lot. And I'm assuming at the back of this 106-page book, we're going to have a bunch of tables where you can just print them. That's my guess. Count the attacks. Oh, here we go. This is kind of cool. What is this? Let's go back up. Know your combatants. Make tactics checks. Few fights in Night City come down to a simple exchange of blows. Smarts matters. Important to know the side has tactical advantage. Is the crew better at teamwork? Do their opponents know how to better utilize the terrain? Pick an edge runner and someone from the enemy group and make an opposed tactics check. That's cool. Tactics is a skill, by the way. Count the attacks. The next step is counting how many attacks checks each side gets to make. We're including rules for adding mini bosses and bosses. Mini bosses and bosses we had cards for. If we go back to our Streamloot days, when I'm running it, I want to pull this up on screen, actually, everyone. I want to know if I nailed this. Because this is what? 8 years old? How long ago did we do it? Or not 8. No, yeah, about... shit, man. I think it is actually about 8 years old. For the Cyberpunk ones. I think they're in here. I'll pull it on screen for you in a sec. What does Cyberpunk fall under? Because I added them all back in. Let me go back to my collections. Man. Were they in the Breachers one? Maybe they're in Breachers. Because I don't think Breachers was its own set. It's the set I added. Here, let me bring this over so you guys can see it. This is the back end of all the shit that I've made over the years, everyone. All of our John Wick ones. Our Ogre Force ones. I see Ogre Force. These it? Yeah, these are it. So you can see here, like when we did the Jerry Springer one, the copy for our Jerry Springer Cyberpunk cards. So we even have our Zobo discounts. Where's our boss? I'm going to type in boss. No? I know we have him. I know it's in here. Two actions. Okay. Yeah, dude. So these are the Breacher cards. These are the Cyberpunk cards. Right? These are the John Wick cards. These are... I honestly think these may be some of my favorite cards I did. It's so simple, but so good. I think there's some of my favorite cards. And then these are just their frames. I just got the art and made the art for a lot of it. And then the other collection I really like is these, obviously. I love our cards for Athantia. And then down here, I really like our Dreadful cards that I used for the Penny Dreadfuls that I made the art for these. These are all good. So it looks like same line. Same line of thinking as attacks and how many they get. Your Edge Runner crew gains attack checks as follows. +1 per member presence to let you get everyone. So this is the idea of grouping up to make rolls. Yep. And the Mook Lieutenant, Mini Boss, Boss. Yeah. Same. This is the same exact kind of numbers I was using. Okay, cool. I'm glad to see I was thinking along the long lines for quick combat and for making stuff. And then make attacks. So this is different down here. Sightseer, Inquisitor. Oh, I see. They're showing the people and the tables. Okay. This is kind of like your result for each person. And then determine the outcome. So you got big group fights. Everyone rolls, and then you figure out what happened in between. And if you took any damage. Narrating failure. Story success. Combat is easy. Your crew might be a little worse for wear. So you're talking about how much damage you've taken and so on. So this has been the plague for all cyberpunk dystopian future games. From the old Cyberpunk 2020 to Shadowrun, everyone ran into problems like how to handle it. And I think the problems that we came into is we all saw fucking Lawnmower Man, and everyone thought that everything had to feel like Lawnmower Man or William Gibson's work because that's what we saw and read. And I think the perspective on net running changed a lot, or whatever game you're playing in. Really with Red and the elevator style really changed it, which I loved. And also I think Quick Hacks from 2077 kind of changed it. And then Ghost in the Shell. I think Ghost in the Shell, especially the standalone complex series where she is jacking into somebody and just doing quick work, where some areas are really visual and you can see them when they're inside, and other ones are just quick and to the point and getting the job done. So I'm curious if they've set something fun for these for net architecture. Again, if you want good net architecture, that app on the phone is... Oh, I didn't even realize this. There's the Detroit Living City art that I did. The VHS cover. I didn't realize that was on here right now. I think this is a really fun way to kind of set this up and get it going. Solo play, core play. So these are like how many floors there are. Hey, the man himself. Black Ice, quick and dirty net running. Okay, so they got a nice quick net running thing. Solo play clocks. I fucking love clocks. Setup. Ooh, do they do theirs differently? I don't see any clocks on the page. They might have set these up a little differently. Okay. We need to at least look at this and talk about how they do it. Solo play clocks allow you to introduce an unknown element into the planned story point. In a standard game, a GM might create a clock to track a scene. They know X event will happen the bottom of round Y, adding an element to change and chaos to the beat. So again, beat of the story. Solo play clocks do something similar, but replace the certainty of the GM with an element of randomness that allows you to create an element of uncertainty beyond your control. Remember, uncertainty is often where story shines, forcing you to think your way out of interesting situations. Yeah, this is those fucking MacGyver moments, like those story-led MacGyver moments. This is what this is. Let me see if I can you draw stars? Can't with that. Can I draw stars with this? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hold on here. Let's get that bright ass blue. I bet you can do it with this. Yep, cool. So this... Too thick. This is important. That's an important piece. We also need a bullet that is also a tag to beep on the map to know where he and she is. Yeah, right. So this is pretty cool. I just drew all over this fucking table. Did I mean to do that? was not on purpose, everybody. So set up and define the event or consequence the clock is tracking. For example, maybe a bomb is ticking down an explosion, or someone has called the NCPD and the cops are on their way. Night City Police Department. Dice pool. Choose a pool of D6s based on the expecting timing. Smaller pool, shorter time frame, 3 to 4 D6s for a quick event. Larger pool, longer suspense, 5 to 8 D6s for extended tension. That's different. Set triggers. Determine when you roll the dice pool. Triggers should be key in dramatic moments. It could be based on a time, such as a top of each round. Yeah, that's usually how I do it. Top or bottom. Top is nice because it adds pressure. Bottom is good to see how it ends a round. I think like countdowns for bombs, I would probably put at the bottom. Whenever you hit a trigger, roll the dice and remove any dice that come up ones. Oh. So doing like a dice cup shakedown. Oh. This is a really... what is this? This is a great... Page 25. Timer. This is a great change. This is a really good little version of how to do this. So you have 5d6 beat length suspense. Roll the dice pool every time an edge runner fails a stealth or electronic security check. Roll. Whenever the crew spends more than 1 in-game minute in a single room. Roll. When all dice are removed, a security squad arrives. That is a phenomenal way to set tension through dice pool mechanics. I actually really like this. If it's something that's not a hard and fast timer, this works really well. The more dice, the longer the pool. This is smart and so simple. So simple. Huh. Every time the edge runner fails a perception check, whenever edge runner is loud or public display, once per in-game hour. This would be a great way to, like, if you are doing a job to decide when bad guys are going to show up. You know what I mean? That's really smart. Good new rule. Playing clock variations. They're giving you a whole bunch of versions. That guy's fucked. Tons of variations. We have a mission builder in here. I think this is important. I'm going to mark this as something to talk about. They have who's hiring, what mission, define focus, so you can really roll this. This works good for the solo, co-op, or the assistant. Serving roll 5 or 1. She does roll 5s and 1s a lot. You're not wrong. A full campaign. This is the hard part. I think this is the part that a lot of people don't know how to do when they're running their own games. And the fact that that is something that is here to help a GM learn how, this is smart. So you played your first solo RPG mission, had quite an adventure. What now? Call it a one-off, one-shot, be done. Or add more. Really cool to be able to like teach them how to make a full piece, right? A little bit of hey, look at this. You want to be part of the gang? Here you go. Here's your sightseers. They gave you a sightseer here. The logo, so you could use it in your game. If you don't know, for Cyberpunk 2, there is an entire download you can get that has like all of the different corporos in there, different gangs, all the pieces for it, where you can get all the things that you need to like make art pieces, print things, put it in your book, and really make it your own. I would print a sticker sheet personally and just cut them out and slap them in. It would totally be a nervous roll, Star Drew. 100%. So that was kind of like the first 30 pages gives you an idea of what the fuck you're getting into. Great art again. And then you get into like your lists and tables. Throughout single player mode, we've referenced this. So you got oracles. We're going to fast scroll through this stuff, right? List. Oop, wait, hold on. We're going to check this. Boom. Hyperlinks, baby. Look at this. All hyperlinked. Page number 33 is key. Page 33 is your tables. We're going to talk about when I record this, how it's hyperlinked to hell and back, which is awesome. And now they have your breakdown of everything. Nouns, verbs, sights and sounds, locations, specific locations, places to live, factions, people of Night City, names, broken down between masc, feminine, and non-binary. Then we have your roles, your NPC role, your execs, your fixers, your lawmen, and so on. Those are all the roles that are in Cyberpunk. Things, fashion wear, black ice, firearms. Hey, baby, our entire season was about Continental Brands poisoning people with kibble. It was fucking hilarious. And we all know kibble flavors are important here. And for the honor of our old game that we ran, exclamation point 1D100 in chat here, we're going to see what kibble came out today. 34, Fruity Fantasy, the world's most solid fake fruit salad. You fucking kidding me? The irony of this and the Fruity Pebbles, or not Fruity Pebbles, the Fruit Loops controversy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. I won't say anything else other than that, because I don't talk politics here. But fuck me, that's hilarious. Corpse loot, gotta flip that body, baby. Media, this is important. Ooh, 2 pages? 1 page. Oh, it's just a table. Okay. This is like the channels and what's on. All right, that's cool. If anyone wonders how I'm flipping back, it's Alt and left arrow on your computer. It works in almost every PDF reader. Media, generating missions and plots. Random beat charts. Random beat charts is 74 to 75. Random encounters by zones too. Day and night. Random things. What's this? If you solo roleplay long enough, you're bound to need a unique list of tables you can't find anywhere else. To help, we're providing a set of blank tables. Yes, this is what I tell every fucking GM to have. I tell them to make a blank table that is weighted the way you want, and when players find something, fucking put it there. Fill it out, man. Make your own. And you can see they're giving you the percentage chances so you know what you're doing. This here is awesome. Artel Sword, if you're listening, the thing that all groups are missing, and I'm going to say this in my recording as well, maybe there is one, is form fillable sheets. Because a lot of people play on the go or on the phone. Form fillable for this would be excellent for people. Form fillable sheets. Not everybody's got a printer. Not everyone prints their own zines at home. For shit. But that's awesome. This makes me happy. This is like probably my favorite piece so far, is the fact that this exists is super important. What is this, page 85? Like I said, we're going to cut through this last part pretty quick. Things, baby, things. Super important. Let's go back. Why didn't mean to cut that far back? God damn. I'll see what we can do. Thanks. I think that's an important piece for people is form fillable sheets, baby. Form fillable sheets. They matter. So let me go back since I went back too far. So what else we got? Diceless. Oh, what's this? Ooh, going fully analog. Missing your dice. I've seen these in cheat sheets. I usually print a couple of these and put them in the back of my folder. Look, I should point this out. I don't think I have yet. So my favorite journal company, I'll make an affiliate link for this later, but my favorite journal company is a German journal group. You can get them on Amazon. I think it's Lictorum 1917. So here, let me flip over here. Lictorum? I should know German, but I don't. I can't remember it anymore from my time traveling. Yeah, I'll show you. These, I like the softbacks the most. Whoop, come on. Are you going to focus? Ooh, why is this usually doesn't have a problem focusing? There we go. 1917. These are my favorites. The reason I like them is, one, these bitches are page numbered. Right here. See that? Down there. And then two, the front of them have these. It's all kind of written out for you. And then the pages look like this. They're just straight. They have dot gridded. Really nice. And then the back of them have this. They have an accordion folder, just like all your moleskins. But I like the paper in these more than the moleskins, and they're flexible. I have probably like 15 of these laying in the background in different colors. This is the one for breachers coming up that I'm using. But I love them. And I like them too, because when I'm doing all my A5 stuff, they fit. And they fit in your backpack easier than a full size. Now, granted, that same company makes these motherfuckers. And I use these for my adventure designs because I like doing 2-page spreads. You can do 2-page spreads. And you can see this is all my Dirty Deeds ideas. And look, it even has, for Dirty Deeds, it even has washi tape and my map underneath for Dirty Deeds. And this is all my notes designing for a Breacher's adventure. And this honestly is like my big adventure one. I think I've had one of these for a while. Before it was a teacher folio that I was using. And then Ben said that company, who I've been buying their books for a long time, Ben said in one of his videos that Ben Milton from Nave, that they make big ones. I was like, oh shit, I don't have to get these teacher ones anymore. The teacher ones are really hard to get unless they're at the beginning of the year. And Todd turned me on to those because they had all the tracking charts in them. So it was for like grading and everything else. But anyway, I digress. I really like that company. I'll put some links down below after the show. And let's go back over. So Diceless. Got a little Diceless chart system here. Really nice. Kind of check them off as you go. Or you can just boop and hit them, right? Pretty cool. So let's go back to the page we were on. I think tables was 33 if memory serves. That was all of our tables. This is going to break them down. They're very easy. You can see all the tables are here, your list, and so on, right? And they even kind of tell you how to use them. Sight, sounds, and smells. This one is one that, for Cyberpunk, I would really want. Like booster gangs, inhaling drugs, like all the things you need. I also like the no punches are pulled. It's a dystopian universe. Shit's going to get real. Mr. Johnson's real, guys. The midnight is real. Like you gotta have the real stuff. So they have everything in here. I love all the tables. I think this is phenomenal, right? So we're gonna put ourselves back to page 88 because we know that was the last one. We're gonna scroll past this. I want to see what else they have. All your random things tables. What's this say? Win big. Mama's fallen angel. Lose big. Living out her lies. Wants it all. Mama's fallen angel. Lose it all. Rolling the dice of her life. Poison. Fucking kidding me? That's just getting a big old circle. It's a necessary thing. Let's scroll past these. Hello, guy who signed up for the wrong fucking job. So you got your blank forms. These are great. You got blank forms you can fill out. A lot of this, again, I feel like a lot of this exists in the Cyberpunk Red app. Because you can do all of your characters in here. Right? Stream Elements over there welcoming you in here a little late. And punch a kid for the Hello Kitty gun. Look, Nova did do that. I thought about making kids onesies that said Novad on it. I really did. Novad in a dream. Novad in a oh fuck, what's it called? Brain dance. Novad in a brain dance. I was gonna make onesies for kids for that. It said one to Diana. Holy shit, man. But anyway, there's also the ability to put all your NPCs in here. You can even randomly roll them or import them. You can import through import codes. So if a person gives you a code, you can put a code in. You can start a new session in here and create a session for everyone to join. Like, this is awesome. I hope they keep adding things to this because it's a great digital way to archive everything. And it's got all the rules in there too. It wasn't expensive. I think if you get all the PDFs and everything, it's like under $20 for all of it, right? Because it's a database you get access to. Babysitter's brain dance? No, I wanted it to be Nova in a brain dance because remember they did the brain dance and she murdered all those kids on the bus with a rocket launcher during the death race. She's like, this isn't real. So simple landscape, pretty cool. I like this. What else do we got here? I need some more music. My music died. We'll do this one. We'll do the retro wave. This is great. Great tables, portraits, everything you need, right? Like everything's in here. Blank forms for NPCs. This is kind of how I write my note cards out too. Like printing these on a note card would be really smart if you can fit them on like a 6x4. And like some printers can't do that. Like mine's got a tray. Hold on. Mine has a tray where you can put in the different size cards to print on. But you can also get cardstock and print them. You could go to a printer and get them done. Or, which I did for a long fucking time, I just paid to get a rubber stamp made once. Once. And I rubber stamped all my stuff because I got tired of writing it out. And I had one for each game. And I just stamped them. I learned that because my mom did home interiors and she had to stamp all of her shit. They're really cheap to get made. Just get something like this made into one. You got documents for it. But stamps work really good when you just stamp them out. And I would do this as the front side, and I would stamp this as a back side. Or I just, I wouldn't even put the boxes. You only need the questions that you put there. Right? Pretty simple. More blank forms, more blank forms. Solo play, these are your dice pool clocks. I fucking love these. Then your investigation tracker for handling your investigation. Your social tracker challenge. Quick and dirty combat tracker. Enemies. I wonder if they have print-friendly versions of these as well. Quick and dirty net run tracker. Oh, what's this? Mission builder for writing your mission out. Really smart. Cliffhanger. Beat charts. Beat charts are in the Cyberpunk Red book. Really cool concept for how to make beats. I think it's how this style of writing runs really well for actual plays. But it works great at a table. IP tracking sheet. So the IP is the points you're spending to level up and what you spent for your runners. And the single player, the back of the book. Love this. So here's my question. What I did not see, and maybe I missed it before I go into my quick 15-minute recording to kind of close this out here in a minute. I already got my ideas together. What I didn't see is, are you making a gang, a player? How many people are you playing? That's what I didn't see. The shoe, the dice, single player. Like, are you making one character? Are you making multiple characters? Because he talks about an entire nomad pack here, right? Like, this whole thing, an entire nomad pack operating. Adventures of Babysitting starring Nova. Spoilers, everyone dies. It's true. It's true. I'm looking to see if they answer this anywhere. Single player mode. Okay, here it is. To generate the adventure, instead, you can use tools in this book to generate information such as NPC personality, quirks, and locations, specifically answering questions normally under the domain of the GM. Such as, does the NPC media know a member of your crew, works for a rival news organization? Since you likely know the beats ahead of time, the joy of solo play through a published mission is discovering your own unique story as you navigate them rather than surprise or spontaneous scenario creation. I don't see... They have all the question asking. Like, this teaches you the solo play thing. My thing is, I think you're kind of either making your own person you're going through fully. I was hoping they had like a solo play. So look, when you do solo play, a lot of times there's an extra rule that's involved because they want to make sure you don't just get rocked doing it by yourself. So, for example, in Breachers, you get extra luck, or they tell you to make a party of people in Shadowdark. In what was it? Lord of the Rings, I think you got an extra ability, so on and so on. So I'm curious, like, I feel like I'm missing the section for making your character. Like, this is a great guideline, but I don't know if it talks about... Yeah, I don't know if it's gang by gang. Like, I don't... I know the story is yours. Because they talk about all the background characters. Let me just scroll past this. Key characters. Checks. Tools. Let's just see if we can find it. I think this is supposed to be you're playing the main character and all the supporting cast, which is your goal, but I just want to know if they think you should be making a team, like an edge runner team. You know what I mean? Like if you're making a full edge runner group. I guess that's the question I'm asking. I know it's a do it what you want, but when people are solo playing for the first time, you kind of want to give them a guideline. You know what I mean? Let me go to the back. Maybe the back of the book says something. Let's check this. Go to the Lone Dark First. You're hooked on the Militech pistol. Okay, so that's the same thing. I mean, it depends. Edge runners are usually like your group, normal group, like your tabletop group, like 5. A gang could be anything under the sun. If you're nomads, you're like a roaming group. Solo play investigations and challenges. Rules for solo play clocks. Mission builders. Extra solo play. I think I would want to go watch his stuff. Peter Norton's. I am curious because I am not seeing anything that teaches you that part of the game. Oh, here it is. I found it. I'm a dumb shit. Fucking... Come on, Frank House. There we go. Assembling your crew. Despite its name, solo play isn't about playing solos, which is the name of one of the roles. When using single player mode to play Cyberpunk Red, you can add any edge runner you want to your party, no matter their role. If you want to focus, you can create a one-person crew who occasionally calls on allies for aid or dips into other roles like Netrunner without additional IP expenditure. That's right. Feel free to give your solo or edge runner some ranks in interface or maker or medicine without spending IP if you want. Go ahead. Who are we going to tell? Because remember, you can take multiple roles, but it costs more IP to dip into another role's skill that they're good at. If you're up to the challenge, make a whole crew, up to 6 or more edge runners, and solo play, that's your decision. Just make sure to adjust your challenges accordingly. All right, this is the last piece I needed so that I can point to people who want to pick this up on what to do. Remind everybody, if you're interested in picking this up, I have the affiliate link over for DriveThruRPG. I think this is fucking dope. The Spark tables alone are worth it. So let me think for a minute here. Making friends has never been easier. Yeah, you're making your own friend. So let's get some music for this. What's my favorite? I'm going to use mine to start this off like normal. I'm going to go to my playlists for my custom music for Corpse Talk. Do I have the Corpse Talk? I'm looking to see if I have the instrumental for just the Corpse Talk. I don't. Why didn't I do this? I'm a dumbass. Let me extract this really quick from my work. This is a really good set piece for single player mode. I actually like this a lot. I'm very happy. And you don't get a 106 page version of this very often. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do this in one take like normal. We're gonna go through this, talk about the things I like, record this so I can put this out. I'm gonna edit it, obviously, put this out in like a week or so. Maybe this week. I got Omen Drome coming out this week for the Archiver stuff. We're gonna record this one so I can showcase this for everybody as well. I think solo gameplay is such a fucking great thing to have. I think it makes you a better GM. Especially when people don't always know how to GM yet. And I think solo role-playing is a great way for people to learn how. Like, how to fucking do it. Because people don't get it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, they don't understand that you can do this by playing a game and learning narrative beats and how to do shit. It's a great thing. So, all right. I think this is split off now, is it? Let me go look at this. There we go. Hidden due to filters. I did it twice like a fucking dumb shit. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm still stupid. I don't know why I did that. All right, let me add this to my playlist so I can play this easily and switch between them. Let's go to my library. Let's go to my playlist again. Let's set us up for this recording, everyone. Is there anything that I should hit on this that you think I missed? I feel like I hit most of it pretty well. All right, let me pause this and we're good. Right? Yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna bop in a minute. I promise. All right, let me pull this up top. I want this to be the first one for the playlist today. And this one, so I can switch to it. And then I'm at the Final Girl instrumental. And then I need the toe tags one. Where's toe tags? Oh. Where's my like and subscribe one? Ah, here we are. Toe tags. From Corpse Mother. All right. This should be the normal one. So I'm going to play this. It'll go into the instrumental. I think I have all the instrumentals up there. Final Girl instrumental. Is that up here too? Just because I want the background to be the music so I don't have to worry about any big like fuck-ups or anything. Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool. All right. Let's go back to the full screen. Let's set up the ad. Let's start the recording. We're going to play the Corpse Talk song, and then I'll put it into the non-vocal version after I do the introduction. Let's test the sound. How does it sound for all you guys out there? It's at minus 40. That should be pretty good. Pretty good. Too loud. Pretty good. Seems good. How does it sound on your end, everybody? Does that sound decent? All right. Must be like a 20-second delay today. If I could X that delay down to 5 seconds, I'd fucking do it. Can't hear it on your TV at all? Really? Really? I mean, it's showing it. Let me double check music. I mean, it's at minus 30 dB. It's definitely piping through. I'll turn it on again. I'm going to stop the recording. I want to make sure this isn't too loud for everybody. This is about where I usually put it. It's there. It's quiet. Okay, thank you. All right, perfect. That's all I wanted to know. All right, let's get this ready then. Start recording. We'll do this again. 3, 2, 1, music. Hey everybody, we are here to talk about Cyberpunk Red and their new single player mode. That's right, if you wanted to live in the dystopian future of Night City, play all of your 2077 fantasies out, but you're like, man, all my friends do is play fucking D&D, and they're so hard on for Daggerheart now, I can't get them to play my Cyberpunk masterpiece that I have stirring around in my brain. Well, now you can. You can do it by yourself, or you can do it with one other person, or maybe I'll do it with a live audience here. But now with the solo player mode, you get 106 pages of glorious, glorious words to spill all over your solo gameplay. This thing is packed. I mean, packed full of goodness. Now, just like all solo play games, you are going to need the core rulebook as well. I'll put links down below for affiliate links where you can pick those up if you want to help support the channel. Or, fuck, if you're watching this, you probably already have the core book. I ran seasons of Cyberpunk Red on Norse Foundry and also on this channel doing Detroit Living City. So, enough of that. Let's go over to the table. I want to show you some of the highlights, the best things, the things you're getting, and maybe a little extra stuff as well. Let's get the verbiage out of here and just go to the music only. All right, everybody. I'm excited for this one. This is a good piece. So we have a lot in this single player mode. I'm going to put it on a widescreen in a minute for you, but I just wanted you to be able to see the artwork of the people getting arrested by the police, smiling for the camera. I really want to know, are these guys, do they have a drone? Is there a drone? And it's taking pictures of these two freaks right now. I think that's probably what it is. So there is a lot in this book. A lot. They brought over somebody, Peter Norton, who had been doing their own solo play, and they helped develop and write this. Everything in here, for all you fans of Corpse Talk, everything is hyperlinked. I mean, everything. Every piece you see highlighted yellow right now, that there's a hyperlink. So go ahead and drink whatever you'd have on your side of the screen. A great breakdown. I recommend reading this and how they started in the mid-'80s. I, as well, played at the YMCA. That is something I did as a kid as well. I'm excited to see what else is done. They have QR codes here for video examples, everything you can do. Some of the best art I've seen for going it alone for solo role-playing. And this is kind of the title sheet here that gives you everything about assembling your crew. Play a solo, make one character, make a group of characters, make a whole edge running team, whatever you're comfortable doing for your solo mode gameplay. They talk about why cheat, why not just cheat? You can, you don't have to, no one's gonna tell on you, but the dice help tell the tale and they really break this down for you. Why people do solo play. And look, as a forever GM, I know why I do it. It's because it's the only time I get to play a game. I'm a 99.99% GM. And these are the chance for me to test theories that I have, story ideas, new things that maybe I saw or read that I really want to see. Can I make this sing and would it be good on the screen for all of you that watch our actual plays? Or maybe at a convention. But these single players let people play a story they want to tell. With nothing in the way. They talk about why not just join a group? Sometimes it's hard to do. Was it easy to solo play? Is it easy to solo play Cyberpunk Red? Well, they break it down here. You're playing the GM's job, and I think they highlight this really well. The GM's main purpose is to keep the story flowing by focusing on how the narrative reacts to the player's decisions and dice rolls. And that's what you're going to be doing, is you're doing this. But they also talk about this being an assistant GM for your gameplay, which is great. If you want something to help you out, maybe it's your first time running and you fucking know what to do, this book's got you covered. There's so much in here, we don't have time to scroll through all of them, but I do want to hit some of the highlights of things that I see. Read this example of solo play. It does a great job explaining how Swirl and the gang that they're a part of, how they handle some things, how to set up mixing your roles, how to handle all that. There's also new art of Night City. If you were here in the live chat, you know that this is coming for a new project, or maybe you have it already. This is my favorite piece in here. I feel like it nails if people were playing tabletop RPGs in Cyberpunk Red. I don't know why, but those otters, man. With that, we talk about all the stuff of how to ask questions, closed questions versus open. They teach you the style of asking things the right way, and when you're going to be making difficulty value checks, remember you roll above those, or if you're going to be asking closed questions using an oracle. They give you an oracle table that explains basically the 5 levels of probability, and then no with complication, complicated, yes with complication, and yes. And those are the variances of what it should be. You want to ask yes questions that are interesting, that create active moments or drama. Adjust, adopt, and enjoy the ride. That's true of any solo role-playing game. But they break down how to do your questions you need, and then the gameplay tools that you need. But they do more than that. They give you a way to run investigation, how to set it up, along with how to do your skill checks if they should escalate and get worse or harder, I should say, for maybe your solo edge runner or your group. They give you examples of everything in this book as they're doing them. They even talk about social challenges, which, look, if you're doing solo roleplay, the hardest thing to do is talk to yourself the entire time. And I'm telling you as a GM to give yourself the A-OK to talk to yourself. Look, we all talk to ourselves and talk ourselves through things, but when you're by yourself, there's no Geo. You could just fucking do it. So take that. But in this, they talk about a little more than normal social challenges. More than, should I do it? Do I look like a goofball? They have a lot more involved. Now, they talk about background characters, which don't deserve a lot more than like some basic information. Supporting characters that need more. They also hyperlink everything in the book to make sure that you can just click to the things that you need. Everything is hyperlinked. See page 52 and so on. Oh, looks like I found one. Might not be hyperlinked there. But that's because that one is to CD Projekt Red's life paths in the core rulebook. Shh. I know why it's not. I just wanted to see if you guys would drink anyway. Of course, as we go through this, they talk about using other books, how to set goals for those social moments, talk about key characters and giving them the full voice. I believe in canonizing characters as you go through, giving them a little more each time they're on the camera in your game. We talked about that and a few other ones. I think Star Trek nailed that, but I use it for all my gameplays now. And speaking of cool gameplay pieces in solo, not only do they have regular combat and talk to you about doing this, but they've also come up with a morale style of quick combat where you end the fight based on rolls and how difficult it is, and the tactics of people for quick and dirty combat, and how to just really nail it down if you don't want it to be huge. You just want to be in and out of that fight fast, right? And they say, like, for example, if it's an unsure street rat, a 1 to 9, end the fight. If it's a 10, they keep fighting for some reason. Maybe that's a good reason to add narrative to your solo game. They talk about tactic checks, if people are smart, what they're doing, to kind of add that artificial intelligence to your game. Not the AI that pisses everybody off all the time, but literally just, do these people stick around and fight? Do they have tactics? Are they smart? AI's been around before people got mad about AI. Just, you gotta remember that. They talk about counting the attacks and how many there are, adding them up, and they have rules for mini bosses and bosses and how to add those in. We did similar things on the show when we used Streamloots with building our Mooks, Lieutenants, mini bosses, and bosses. They have an example here of Sightseers, which is the gang that those people in that story you read about are a part of. They continue that theme throughout. And then we get into like quick and dirty net running, which is such a huge part of it. They also in the beginning gave you the okay go to like, look, if your edge runner is a solo, but they also have net running, don't spend the IP, just give them that skill as well and let them spend points into that skill as you play on. They talk about architecture and doing it. You got the man himself. And what I would say is if you're going to do architecture, I really recommend the Cyberpunk Red app. Look, there's a reason that I recommend it. Inside, you can see there is a net architecture tool. This is a great added bonus if you want to do net architecture and you want to just randomize them, but you want to play through them, it's got you covered. It's a great app, worth the dollars that you spend on it, and it's not super expensive. I think the base app is free, and the books you can pay to add on for like $1 or something. Don't take my word, just go look it up. And it is on Android and also on iPhone. I've used it when I ran games for actual plays at conventions. Now, with that, they get into what I think is the most interesting thing in this. They've come up with a new version of clocks. We all know about clocks from Apocalypse World and Blades in the Dark, where you mark the pie charts off. I use them all the time. I think they build momentum and put tension on the player and on the GM, and it makes the world feel like GTA, Grand Theft Auto. It's living. Things happen as those clocks fill. But this clock is more like a bomb clock. Depending on how long you want a suspenseful scene to last, you take a bunch of D6s, and then you decide when you're going to roll them for this bomb. It could be at the end of each round. If it's every time people make a loud noise because there's people patrolling, you roll. And you roll these. And every time you roll a 1, you take that die out of the pool, and then you keep rolling every time that action comes up. They talk about adding dice in depending on how long the beat length is, the suspense length is for the scene. The Strike Team one is probably the best example, where you're rolling 8d6. It's a multi-beat suspense piece. Every time an edge runner fails a perception check, whenever an edge runner engages in a loud public display, once per in-game hour, you roll, because they're being hunted by a strike team, and you take that off. It's such a great way to add a clock that you don't have total control of it, but you do know when you're down to 1, things are going to get closer to being real. I might adopt this for some of my other games as well. I think for hex crawls, this would be a really good mechanic. With that, they have all of the solo play stuff that you can need, different clock variations, what's to do with them. Amazing art everywhere. They even have a mission builder for when you're doing solo play, or if you just want an assistant, or if you're running an actual game and you want help building it. They have an entire system builder chart in here for building everything. And they have one for solo beat charts versus doing large campaign ones. I can't speak highly enough about what's in the book, because they even come in and teach you how to do full campaigns, which is hard. And like I said in the beginning, I feel like solo play teaches new GMs so well. They even give you the Sightseers logo if you want to use it for later, that group that was in the story in the beginning. From here on out, it's lists and tables. I'm not going to go through it all, but I want to highlight the smart thing they did. At least to me, it's very smart. Down here, there's an entire hyperlinked page. This whole page is everything in this, every table possible. Your verbs, your nouns, your adjectives, your sights, your sounds, all the way to the roles that people can play, the things that are involved, the corpse loot when you flip that body, medium, what stations are playing. They even have, for those who followed my series, they have kibble flavors. The different kibble flavors that are available. We rolled it on live stream. We came up with the fruity version, and it was just a great thing to see. And as you scroll through all these tables, you can even see advertisements that are here to give you an idea of what's there. What a great way to do advertisements. That's one of my favorite add-ons for Cyberpunk 2077. Flipping your corpses and all that. But then we get to my favorite. I talk about GMs creating their own tables as you play. I always say I have a table for that. But what I'm usually doing, the secret behind the sauce, is I'm making my own weighted table. And they have things tables here for you, weighted with the percentages of success based on the thing that you are rolling on the tables. And you can just fill these out yourself to give you an idea of the weight of things that are important. If you have a room for an investigation with clues and you pop those clues in a few of those spots, but that entire set piece for those clues is to evoke story, unlock background, give little pieces of history that you drop to your players or to yourself while you're solo playing. This becomes a really fun table. Like, what's in the bottom of my car? What's in the couch cushions at the crib? These are great things that I think you can use these random tables for, these things tables, as they call it. And you don't see this often. Nice little Poison reference there, by the way. They also have dice lists. If you forget, print these, put these in the back of your solo journal that you have with you. So you have dice on there. You can drop a pen, mark them off as you roll, whatever it is you want to do. From here, everything is blank forms. And I talked about in the live stream how when I had to do blank forms back in the day, my mother worked for Home Interiors, so I went and got stamps made. I still think it's super valid. If you don't have a big-ass printer at home like some of us do, get a stamp made, get some index cards, and just stamp that bitch. And put that down and fill them out and keep those in the back of your journal. Or stamp the page. Who cares? But the tediousness of writing this out, having a stamp bypasses that. Stamp the whole back of your book. Have like 15 of these in here for complex NPC forms. Fill them out in pencil and you're good to go. And you can get stamps made hella cheap nowadays. This whole thing is just full of them. Full of different pieces. All the way down to the IP you spend, tracking engine runner stuff. It's got it all. Now, you all know I'm a big fan of sheets and cheats and things that make your game easier. But even more so, what I think is important is form fill. Now, I'm hoping we see form fill, and we did have a certain group show up during the live stream and mention, I'll see what I can do. So maybe in the future we'll see some form fill sheets from Artel Soren Games. I hope that is something we see, because I think form fill makes it more accessible for people who are playing with virtual tabletops online or at home. Not everybody prints like the monster that I am, killing trees left and right to print my own zines for you all to buy. This is a great book. And I did talk about, there are links for you to pick them up if you want to help support with an affiliate link. But this is on DriveThruRPG. It is $10 fucking. It's cheap. It's cheap right now. Here, look. You don't believe me? This came out 9/16. This is not old. I'm recording this on the 17th. I just bumped into it doing my daily look through what's new in the industry that I love. You can see they have it for 10. You can buy soft or hard cover also through DriveThruRPG. Premium color, standard cover, soft cover plus PDF. They even give you a discount on what you're doing if you want to get those printed, all for your lonesome. Affiliate link will be down below, and the thing is recorded afterwards. Those who are in our chat, you've seen it all day. Thank you so much for watching Corpse Talk, but I can't leave without giving the proper love to the people who make this possible. So let's go over. Let's thank the people who make the show run. Look, everybody, the toe tags of the people from Patreon. You can support me there. You get a free copy of any PDF that I put out. You see the Patreons over on this side. I can't thank them enough for what they've done. I put out new products almost every month, besides Gen Con, because I'm busy during that. And then when I run my actual play series or when I run my merch sales, they're the first to know about it, and usually with a discount code. On top of that, these are the people who believe in what I'm doing. And if you want to be one of those people who love the things that I record, the products I make for Breachers and Shadow Dark, or the upcoming Magic and Monsters series using the Daggerheart system for our new actual play show, sign up to the Patreon at the first paid level, and you will get access to those PDFs for free as they come out. If you want to support me anywhere else, you can find me on DriveThruRPG, itch.io, Patreon, everywhere Eric Frankhouse presents. Thank you for joining me for Corpse Talk. I'll let Corpse Mother here serenade you a little bit with the toe tags. I can't thank everyone here enough for what they do. With that said, for the live show that's still here, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited about this. I mean, like, I actually mean that. I feel like there is some amazing pieces in here. Hey, thanks, Jay. Jay Gray just said on page 6, we can find some of the things that are needed. I'm going to hit that up. Yeah, I did point that out. I did find that, Jay Gray. That was the one I found out. Assembling your crew. I just know the new people always ask those questions. But that's awesome. I love this. I never expected to see this from Cyberpunk. It's cool that they brought somebody in who was already doing it as a YouTube channel to write it, like a specialist, which is the best way to do this shit. And I think most companies, when it comes to solo roleplay, they're so used to building for the table of many that they don't write those rules. And bringing in someone who does it is always the best way to do it. At least if you bring them in as a consultant. So today's show, another one in the books. Corpse Talk Live will be back again next week, Wednesday, 3:30 p.m. like always. We just finished our Mythic Bastionland show for those who weren't here for it. I really liked the setting. I really liked the system. We crushed 11 episodes with that. And I feel like people who haven't seen it should go back and give it a watch. It has been a riot to run it with 3 players and having Brianna on Utahime for a full season of 11 episodes. She's always got the guest, but never play the whole thing with us. This time, she was around for it all. I won't spoil anything, but she may have had to change her costume a few times. And then with the new one coming up, we're going back into one of my settings, Mythic Bastionlands, a Baroque fantasy about beauty and ruin. And I ran this for 5e and I'm converting it to Daggerheart because I feel the way the narrative-driven beats are there they really fit the style of the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I would explain it. It fits the style, the narrative style of the game. And then, of course, Breachers will be back for Breachers in Shadow Dark once my summer stuff is over here. And I'll be running some more co-op play with the audience using Streamloot cards for Breachers. So, if you want to know what I do and you want to find out more, just follow the channel, share it with your friends, do all the shit that every fucking YouTuber asks you to do. Reminder, this is rated M for mature. I need a button I can click that just puts it over the screen in a horror movie style. I'm a big fan of horror movies. People send hate mail for the horror movie and the swearing, but all the music here is made by me, besides the stuff from White Bat earlier, which is free to play. Corpse Mothers, which you're listening to right now, one of the many bands that I'm working on, so that I don't have to worry about DMCA strikes on my shows. I'll leave you with this. But everybody have a great day. Stay fucking rotten out there. Maybe I'll see you this Friday for a little Rising Design. If you like this show, like and subscribe. There's stuff on the screen right now. Click the buttons, do the things. Make sure you smash it like Jason Voorhees killing somebody in your favorite scene.